Hello, my noble band of outlaws. Well, Outlaw Samurai coming at you live with a video. And yes, we have swords because this is a sword-related video. So, I just did a whole, Sanji is basically a Power Ranger video. A 6-minute video of me ranting about how Sanji could, in theory, be a Power Ranger level threat in the One Piece world. And also traditionally dogging on him as always Zoro fans do, calling him a useless curly brow. Yes, I know, I'm going to get fire in the comments, okay? I like Zoro! Alright? Zoro is the GOAT! The greatest of all time! The Fade Master! He's the Fade Swordsman! But, in any case, so, therein lies the question. Because I've made One Piece theories before, like with Garp secretly maybe being a part of the Revolutionary Army, or in this instance, Black Blades. Now, in the One Piece world, a Black Blade is basically the ultimate level of sword. It's higher than a Ichimo. It's higher than a damn it. I know the word, it just won't come out. Wazamono. Like the Wazamono, which are like names. You have like the base swords that nobody gives a fuck about that are used by fodder characters. Then you have Wazamonos, which are named swords. Old Wazamonos, which are great swords. And Saigyo Wazamonos, which are the legendary 12 greatest swords in One Piece. The examples being Mihawk's Yoru, Shanks' Griffin, Whitebeard's Komogiri, and Fujitori's Yakuza, or Kazukuza, or something like that. And then you have one step above those, which are Black Blades, which are blades that have been basically permanently coated in haki. There are only two Black Blades that we know of. Shusui, which was the sword of Shimosuke Ryuma, and Yoru, which is wielded by Mihawk, or Dracula Mihawk. And in my past videos, I mentioned this, and I'm going to mention this again. I personally believe that in order to have a Black Blade, you have to know Conqueror's haki. Basically, in order to turn your sword black, you need Conqueror's haki because that is the ability to impose your will onto another. And swords in the One Piece world, they have their own wills, their own spirits. The cursed swords, for example, like any of the three Kitetsu, Sandai, Nidai, Ichai, any of those three Kitetsu blades, they're all cursed swords, they have wills. And we find out that a cursed sword isn't exactly cursed, it's a sword that wants to be the most deadly. It wants to be the strongest blade in the world, and anyone that it deems too weak will obviously be driven to fight, and the sword will basically say, you're worthless, don't even bother, and try to lead you to your death. Zoro already tamed a cursed sword, which is the Sandai Kitetsu. He tamed that bitch by throwing it up into the air and saying, your curse versus my luck. Let's see who wins. The Sandai Kitetsu respected this goated move so much that it purposely spun in a way that it missed Zoro and landed in the ground just like this. And Zoro's like, I'll take this as is. Then we get to the Thriller Bark arc where Zoro, and this is confirmed, meets his ancestor Shimosuke Ryuma, as if One Piece fans hadn't already known that Shimosuke Ryuma and Zoro were like distant relatives. But he meets Ryuma's zombie, basically. And then beats that zombie, which is confirmed to be hundreds of times weaker than he was when he was alive, because Ryuma was considered the sword god. Not the world's greatest swordsman like Mihawk. Sword god. meaning he was stronger than Mihawk, which technically means that Shushui should also be stronger than Yoru, because Ryuma was the one who turned Shushui into a Black Blade. Now, we don't know if Yoru was turned into a Black Blade by Mihawk or not. Alright, that's still unclear. I like to imagine that Mihawk did eventually figure out the secret to turning his sword black, or perhaps Mihawk beat the previous wielder of Yoru and then turned the sword black. Because we learned from the swordsman Tengomaru in the Wano arc that a sword can be turned into a black blade by pretty much anyone who's capable of doing it. Because Enma, the sword Zoro gets to replace Shushui, which was wielded by Kosuke Oden, Tengomaru states that you could possibly turn Enma into a black blade and raise its rank from Owazumono to Saijo Wazumono, which is the highest rank in the world. Now, with that logic in mind, we obviously know that Shushui more than likely has raised its rank from the Wazumono status to, I want to say, it's an Owazumono now. So Zoro has all Owazumono rank blades, even though Shushui has not been officially recognized as an Owazumono. With as much haki as Zoro has pumped into Shushui over the journey ever since he's learned how to use it, that blade is an Owazumono. Fight me on that. But that's not the point here. What the point of the matter is that basically, and I'll reiterate this again, what I think a swordsman needs to turn their blade into a black blade is a complete mastery of haki. Meaning you have to know observation haki, you have to have the complete mastery of observation haki, armament haki, and conquerors haki, which is future sight, Ryuo, and I forget what the mastered form of conquerors haki is. But you need to have all three types, which is future sight. Obviously, your observation haki becomes so good you could see a few seconds into the future. Alright? Shanks and Yasop are considered to be goats at this, and I feel like Usopp is going to learn and master observation haki by the end of Elbath. He has to. We need a power-up for Usopp, okay? Stop making him the weakest Straw Hat. Alright, the only thing he's got going for him is the slingshot at this point. Now, Zoro, obviously being a swordsman, his primary focus is armament haki, which he masters. I believe Zoro pretty much has Ryuo at this point. And it's debated whether Zoro has Conqueror's haki or not, but come on, we all know he has fucking Conqueror's haki because Enma basically unlocked it. In order to master Enma, Zoro was forced to unlock his Conqueror's haki. And during his fight with King. So Zoro has all the qualifications needed to turn his blade black. He just needs to figure out how to do it. And personally, I think it all stems from Conqueror's haki. I think in order to turn your sword into a black blade, you need to use Conqueror's haki on the sword and then subjugate its will to yours, which is traditionally what they do with cursed swords in One Piece, and then apply your armament haki, and then apply your observation haki. Basically, you need to flood the sword with all three types of haki. Now, how observation haki plays into it, I'm not entirely sure, but I know that Conqueror's haki and armament haki should play, at least I feel like they should play a major role in turning a sword black. But, what do you think, my noble band of outlaws? about my theory, and that if conquerors haki is required to make a black blade. Tell me down in the comments below, and until next time, my noble band of outlaws, Outlaw Samurai, tell all y'all be crazy rednecks. Be safe and use your weapons. I'm out. Peace.